You're not going to believe what this single dad did when his little daughter asked for a Barbie doll on her birthday, and what happened next will melt your heart. Stick till the end, because the twist, when the CEO gets involved, will leave you speechless. And if you love stories about kindness, sacrifice, and unexpected miracles, make sure you like this video and subscribe, because today's story will touch your soul. It was a chilly morning in early December when Daniel sat quietly on the edge of his bed, holding an envelope that had just arrived in the mail. The rent was overdue. His power bill was still unpaid. And tomorrow was his daughter Emma's 7th birthday. He'd been working double shifts at the auto repair shop for the past 2 weeks, trying to catch up, but every dollar seemed to vanish into survival, rent, groceries, and medicine for Emma's recurring asthma. He closed his eyes and sighed, whispering, "I'm sorry, sweetheart, maybe next year." Emma had only one wish. Not a trip, not a cake from the big bakery in town. She wanted a Barbie doll, the one with the pink dress she saw in the store window every morning on her way to school. "Daddy," she had said with that innocent sparkle in her eyes, "Barbie will be my best friend when you're at work." Daniel's heart broke each time she said it, but he just smiled and said, "We'll see, honey." He knew, "we'll see," really meant, "I'll try," but trying wasn't always enough. That evening, Daniel returned home exhausted, his hands still stained with grease. Emma ran into his arms, clutching a handmade birthday invitation she'd made for her party. It was drawn with crayons, stick figures of her, her dad, and the Barbie doll between them. "Daddy, can you come home early tomorrow?" she asked. Daniel nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. He didn't have the heart to tell her there wouldn't be any doll, or even a cake big enough to share. The next day, Daniel walked into the local toy store with only $20 in his wallet, all he could spare. The Barbie Emma wanted cost $60. He walked the aisles, staring at cheaper dolls, his chest tightening. A clerk smiled and asked if he needed help, but he just shook his head. Just looking. He stood there for a long time before picking up a small, off-brand doll, not Barbie, but similar enough, he hoped. As he reached the counter, he realized he was short by $5 after tax. Embarrassed, he fumbled through his pockets, apologizing. Behind him in line, a well-dressed woman watched silently, her eyes softening. "Put it on my bill," she said gently to the cashier. Daniel turned around, surprised. "Ma'am, I can't," but she just smiled. "It's fine. Every little girl deserves a birthday smile." He thanked her, not knowing who she was. She nodded kindly and walked away. That night, Daniel came home and placed the small doll on Emma's pillow. When she woke up the next morning, her squeal of joy filled the entire apartment. "Daddy, she's perfect," she said, hugging him tightly. For the first time in a long time, Daniel smiled without guilt. He thought the story would end there. But fate had other plans. 3 days later, Daniel got called into the office at the repair shop. His heart sank, he assumed he was being laid off. The manager told him, "Mr. Daniels, someone's been asking about you. The CEO of the company's main branch wants to meet you." Confused and nervous, Daniel put on his cleanest shirt and showed up at the city headquarters. In the waiting room, he froze when he saw her, the same woman from the toy store. She smiled warmly. "Mr. Daniels, please come in." Her name was Olivia Carter, the CEO of Carter Motors, the same company that owned the repair shop Daniel worked for. "I didn't mean to scare you," she said, gesturing for him to sit. "I recognized your uniform that day in the store. I was touched by what I saw, a father doing everything for his child." Daniel blushed, unsure what to say. "Ma'am, I was just doing what any parent would." Olivia leaned forward. "Maybe. But most people don't sacrifice like that quietly. I saw something rare, love without pride, and humility without asking for sympathy." She paused before continuing. "I want people like you leading my teams. I'm transferring you to our main service department, with a raise, benefits, and housing assistance." Daniel stared at her, speechless. "Ma'am, I don't know what to say." She smiled. "Just promise me one thing, never stop being the kind of father you are." When he went home that night, Emma ran into his arms again, and he lifted her high, laughing through tears. "Daddy got a new job," he told her. She clapped her hands. "Now can Barbie have a friend too?" she asked. Daniel chuckled. You can have a whole house for Barbie now, sweetheart. Months passed, and Daniel's life transformed. The apartment that once echoed with silence was now filled with warmth, laughter, and the scent of home-cooked dinners. Emma's asthma treatments were fully covered. They even adopted a small dog that Emma named Buttons. But Daniel never forgot that one moment, when a stranger's act of kindness changed everything. He often visited the same toy store, quietly paying for other parents who seemed to be struggling. And every time, he'd smile and whisper to himself, "It only takes one act of kindness to change a life." So, if you've made it this far, remember, sometimes the smallest gestures, a few dollars, a kind word, a helping hand, can rewrite someone's entire story. If you believe in spreading kindness, hit that like button, share this story with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more heart-touching stories like this. Because in a world full of noise and rush, we need more hearts like Daniel's, and maybe, a few more people like Olivia, who see beyond what's visible.